The BFFless server is going to be deployed on DigitalOcean. The edge is Cloudflare, and our network is going to be where we're pointing our domain name to our name servers on Cloudflare. So let's start with the domain name setup on Cloudflare. On Cloudflare, you can select Domains, Overview, and click Add Domain. If your domain name is already part of Cloudflare, you can skip part of this step, but I have my domain name on Namecheap, and so I'm just going to connect the domain. Free plan is all that you'll need. So now it's giving you instructions to go into your DNS provider, your registrar, and set up your name servers. Copy and paste the name servers they provide. Go to your domain name, and update the name servers. This will take a little while to propagate. What's happening, what we just did here is we registered the domain name. We already have it registered, but when we update the name servers, we're pushing out to our registry, and it takes a little while for that to propagate all the way to the servers across the internet. Once that does, we'll be able to set up our DNS records inside of Cloudflare. Once the name servers have propagated, you're ready to continue. You can update your existing DNS records if it had imported any, but we'll come back to this later. We're now going to go over to DigitalOcean and install a BFFless server on a Droplet. In DigitalOcean, select your project, and you can create a Droplet. You don't need a large plan. I would say the $6 a month, 1 gig of RAM, 1 virtual CPU is all you need. Make sure to include your SSH key. Click Create Droplet. All right, so we have an IP address. Should be just about ready. We're going to open up a terminal. The user is root when you install an Ubuntu server on DigitalOcean. And because I had my SSH keys already imported, I don't need to password or do that step here. Going over and clicking the install script, this will download and run and install BFFless. Will guide us through some options. So a few things, it says that Docker is not installed, certbot is not installed, although we're not going to be using certbot because that's only used if you're not using Cloudflare. We're going to say yes, install the missing parameters, prerequisites. Okay, so now it's asking us for our domain name. This is used when building out certain configurations, such as inside of Nginx and needing to know subdomains. And so we tell it what our primary domain name is going to be. And we're going to choose one, Cloudflare recommended, free SSL, DDoS protection, etc. That is our IP address of the current server. And we're going to let it auto-generate the passwords that it needs. And we're going to skip SMTP setup for now. Next is the connection between Cloudflare and our origin server. So the connection from the user's browser to Cloudflare is encrypted through Cloudflare's SSL certificate. However, we want to make sure that we have an SSL certificate between Cloudflare and our server to keep it very secure. So to do that, we're going to go into Cloudflare and we're going to click SSL TLS origin server, and we're going to create a server. I'm going to revoke ones that I currently have from previous setups. We'll do it again. So you click create certificate, and this will take 15 years. It will last for 15 years. It's a very long time, so don't need to worry about renewing it anytime soon. It's going to give you the certificates, and copy and paste them into your terminal. You say, yes, you do have the certificates ready, and you just paste. Then it's going to ask you for the private PIM, which is the second one. Copy this one and paste it. The last step is setting up the A records. So you can copy and paste your IP address, go to your DNS records, and click add record, and you'll want to do the apex domain, which is the root domain, and then you will do a wildcard domain. This will allow us to set up any subdomain we want on our domain. So those are the two primary steps, the two domains that we set up. And now when we click to our domain, it should be ready to, let's see. Oh, forgot one last step. I have to start the server. So you have to cd into opt BFFless start.sh. Once it starts up, you can review the logs with the command that it gives you. You can watch it start up. It's still in the process. And now it's up and running. Once you see application is running on localhost 3000, the website is up. Let's quit out of this. Now we can refresh our page, and we're ready to create our account. Next, we're going to go through the onboarding flow of setting up your account. Add a username and password, or an email and password. Now here you can choose if you want your local files for your file storage. You can do local file system or Amazon or GCP. For right now, we're just going to stick with local. And in another video, we'll show how to connect to a Google Cloud bucket. We have options for cache, and we're going to skip this step for right now. I'm noticing that it's saying recommended for Redis, and this needs to be updated. You don't need Redis at this point. Redis is really more for the SaaS enterprise offering. In-memory LRU is good enough. So we can just click skip, and that will default to in-memory. And email setup as well. We can skip this step as well, and we're not going to configure an SMTP provider. One thing to know that when you do skip this and you need if you forget your password, you can go to your logs, and when it sends out the password reset, it will be logged inside of here. So you don't need, that's really the only reason you would need email setup to get started, is if you create an account, forget your password and need to get back in, the reset links will be logged here. So now we're going to complete the setup. Log in, and we're in.